morning. Good morning. I am Kay King Turner. I'll be facilitating things today. Welcome. It's great to have you here at Sun Lakes Unity Church. I don't think I see any newcomers, but first of all, I want to tell you a little bit about our musicians today. I know you don't know anything about them. Jeanne has been coming to Sun Lake since 2000, and she was singing and playing the fiddle with the bluegrass band for 10 years. Yeah. And she met Kay here at church, and they've been singing together ever since, over 5 years. And she considers singing with Kay one of her favorite things to do. And Kay, of course, has been coming to Sun Lakes Unity since it opened. Who knows? We can't even remember. And she's always been part of the music, either singing or playing the baritone ukulele. And sometimes she writes her own songs. She made the transition from ukulele to keyboards last spring. And again, she enjoys singing spiritual songs, and she loves to learn and practice new songs with Jeanne. So they are going to be doing our opening number right now. Yeah, oh yeah, surprise.
Walk slow, count the butterflies you pass, walk slow, there are daisies in the grass, life is fast and we're forever on the go, take the time to take it in, walk slow, let us show the world a smile, walk slow, just as if you were a child, just enjoy Mother Nature and her show. God will walk along with you. Walk slow. As you travel down life's way, walk slow. As you live it day by day, pay attention as you go. Walk slow. Walk slow, through the sunshine and the rain, walk slow. You may not pass this way again, just appreciate it, let the ages roll. Savor all you've come to know, walk slow. It should be you who leads the way, walk slow. Don't let any go astray, be confident upon the path you chose, so that others may keep up. Walk slow. As you travel down life's way, walk slow. As you live it day by day, pay attention as you go. Walk slow. God will walk along with you. Walk slow.
That was excellent. Very, very nice. Thank you so much, Kay and Jeanne. And now, as I said earlier, I don't think we have any brand new people, but it's great to see some people who have been gone for a little while, so that's wonderful. And let's all just do our greetings and bless each other as we start today. We love you, we bless you, and we welcome you. Absolutely. So let's have our opening prayer from Reverend Jeanne MacLaughlin, please.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Let's drop into that beautiful space where we connect to the divine part of ourselves. That one presence and one power that is within each and every one of us and is in everything. And being conscious about the God within each and every one of us here in this community. Oh, how sweet. Oh, how wonderful to be part of this community of like minds that know that the divine is in each and every one of us. There's no comparisons because each and every one of us are unique. And when one of us is not here, we're not the same. And on that vein, we send those who could not be with us today our love as a part of our community, as a part of who we are. And we extend that love and that light out to our families, out to the world. Connecting now back within our heart space. Can you feel peace? Can you notice it? It's there, it's in every one of us. And so we call upon that peace today. That's what we're going to talk about today in a larger way. That it, indeed, when we have peace and are aware of the peace within us, it changes the world. And so we know, Father, that every single person that is here today will receive some kind of guidance or some kind of joy just by being here, and then get to go out and spread that to the world. And so we're grateful that we got up this morning, and we got ready, and we came to be seen, to be loved, and to enjoy one another. Thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Jeanne. And now our daily word will be read to us by Maria Blanchard.
Morning, everyone. Our daily word this morning is pray for others. I am praying for you. Just hearing the words, I am praying for you, helps me relax into the calm strength of a trusted friend's faith. Reassured, I feel my own faith growing stronger. My friend may be next to me or calling from far away. The power of prayer is undiminished by distance. Grateful for the gift of others' prayers for me, I welcome every opportunity to pray for anyone who asks. Having heard the prayer need, I let go of it. In faith, I hold the Christ presence within the one for whom I pray. Knowing the truth of another's wholeness, I release any thoughts of illness. I affirm divine wisdom guiding important decisions and divine strength relieving any weaknesses. I feel the warmth of God's love bringing peace and restoring hope to those I hold in prayer. And from 1 Thessalonians 1:2, we always give thanks to God for all of you and mention you in our prayers.
Now we'll have our song before meditation to get us all in the mood, and then it will be followed by meditation given by Tom Rothwell.
Closure.
Better. Thank you.
Hard getting used to that mask after all these years. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Breathe deep. Breathe in the peace of this moment. Create an awareness of your body. Be aware of your breath. Feel your mind clearing. Breathe out and take another breath. And breathe again. Open to whatever is to be experienced in this moment. Journey inward to confront any ideas that would harm you, that would restrict you, that would bring about self-doubt. Open up your basic goodness, embrace your natural desire to be happy, and to suffer not. Love yourself, for you are good, you are God. Synchronicity and peace is all around you. Allow yourself to see it. Experience it. It is the essence of oneness. Own it. It belongs to you. Love yourself, for you are good. You are part of the divine. Allow your true identity to emerge. Cultivate loving kindness. As you experience this love, notice how you feel in your body. Maybe you feel some warmth or heat in the face, a smile, a sense of expansiveness. This is loving kindness, a natural feeling that is accessible to all of us, always. Resting with this feeling of open, unconditional love for a few minutes. Be at peace. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be held in loving kindness. May I feel connected and calm. May I accept myself just as I am. May I be happy. May I know the natural joy of being alive and at peace. Bask in this energy of loving kindness for a moment. Be at peace. Please bring your awareness back to this room.
Thank you, Tom. Please join me in the Lord's Prayer. Heavenly Source, Thou who art everywhere, hallowed be Thy name, or Thy vibration. Thy kingdom come, Thy will be done, here, now, and forevermore. Fill us with the power of Thy mercy, and free us from the fetters which we bind each other. Lead us out of temptation, free us from ourselves, and give us the strength to be at one with you. Teach us the true power of forgiveness. May this holy moment be the ground from which our future actions grow. Amen. Now, Jeanne and Kay will do another song for us. And then that will be followed by Reverend Jeannie's lesson today. I'm going to give Jane a chance to say something at this point.
I want to dedicate this song to Lois especially, but all the people that we've lost during this COVID experience. So we miss her so much. I was walking home from school on a cold winter day, took a shortcut through the woods, and I lost my way. It was getting late and I was scared and all alone. Then a kind old man took my hand and led me home. Mama couldn't see him, but he was standing there, and I knew in my heart he was the answer to my prayers. Oh, I believe there are angels among us, sent down to us from somewhere above. They come to you and me in our darkest hours to show us how to live, to teach us how to give, to guide us with the light of love. When life held troubled times and had me down on my knees, there's always been someone to come along and comfort me. A kind word from a stranger to lend a helping hand, a phone call from a friend just to say I understand. Now ain't it kind of funny at the dark end of the road that someone lights our way, just a single ray of hope. Oh, I believe there are angels among us, sent down to us from somewhere up above. They come to you and me in our darkest hours to show us how to live, to teach us how to give, to guide us with the light of love. sweet. Thank you very much.
For the past 3 weeks, we've talked about what will this year bring for you personally in your life. We've activated the universal law by setting intentions and themes for our lives. For example, my intention is to see God in everything and everyone in an atmosphere of profound peace. Would anyone care to say what theirs was? Tom?
Since 2006, I've been trying to sold a big farm in Mexico. In 2009, I no longer was being paid for it. In 2013, I hired a lawyer to see what we could do. December of this last year, the woman who bought was finally sued. And I didn't know until about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It looks like, I'm finally going to get my day in court. I put out an intention to get that piece of property back or get paid. And it looks like it's coming to fruition.
Beautiful. Congratulations. That's powerful. Intention's powerful.
We should talk.
Would anyone else like to share? Kate?
Mine was to increase my spiritual understanding of faith. And I'm growing in that. I have ways that are coming to
Beautiful. Kay's her intention was to increase her spiritual understanding
of faith.
and depth of faith. Vera?
Mine was also to keep my faith strong. Keep going all the time and read the right books. And be
Beautiful.
inspired by your what you're seeing.
Beautiful. Mike?
To me, faith, the best definition of faith that I've ever seen, is a dedicated expression of trust. My intention is to live my life with a greater and greater dedicated expression of trust in God, and trust in God that I see in everyone.
Beautiful. Did everyone hear that? Okay. Laura?
My intention that I've been working on, which has really improved my health in a lot of areas, is to forgive past, present, and future. Not only myself, but all others in my life, and to not take that on anymore. If something happens where my feelings are hurt or whatever, I just release it now.
Awesome.
And
Did you
life-
hear?
Life is much better.
Yes. Good. Did everyone hear? Okay. No, you didn't hear. Laura's taking on improving her health and also releasing the past, present, and future, and being willing to just release and live. Oh yeah, focusing on forgiveness. Gwen?
Well, I went big this year.
Ooh, good. I like big. Big
I
guy.
want to end world suffering. Wow. It's led to equality and books and understanding of both suffering and the joy behind it.
Beautiful. Thank you. Love it. Nancy? I don't have your name right.
Chris?
What's your name?
Chris.
Chris. I apologize.
No, that's okay. You can't remember everything. After so many upheavals of the last few years, my desire is to, one, move forward in a positive way together, but also to find purpose again. How can I be a servant? How can I be helpful? How can I make things better?
Love it. Betty?
My intention this year is to use my time and energy toward peace and love. I think those two things are very important, and we need more of each of them.
Betty's intention is to focus on peace and love, and to use more of those throughout the year. Julia, did you?
I wanted to step away. I want to give everything that I have learned in the last several years, my healing practice, to anyone, and give that love to all. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. And so we've discussed a lot of tools of consciousness for living from our themes and bringing our intentions into our experience. There's power in sharing them in a group. I hope you felt that. The tools that we focused on this month are life. L, letting go of the past. I, imagining a greater life. F, freeing yourself to choose. And E, expressing your divinity. And then we looked at the 3 R's. Refocusing your awareness, renewing your mind, and recommitting your heart to your spiritual practices. So today, we're going to look at our theme from a much broader perspective. The broader question this morning is, what will this year bring in our world? The Gandhi King season for nonviolence begins next Sunday, January 30th. The Gandhi King season for nonviolence was initiated in 1998 by the Association for Global New Thought and was inspired by the 50th and the 30th memorial anniversaries of Mahatma Gandhi and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This international movement strives to honor their vision for an empowered, nonviolent world. And even though we are looking today for the broader, more global question of what this year will bring into the world, it still comes down to each individual. It comes down to each one of us. A wonderful story that illustrates the connection between our individual world and the greater world is the story about a young mother one Saturday afternoon trying to work on pulling the family taxes together. She is at her wit's end because her 6-year-old little girl wants her attention. Every 5 minutes, the little girl interrupts her with some new demand. Understandable, the little girl is bored and she wants mom to play. But mom really can't play right now. So she leafs through a nearby magazine and sees a map of the world on one of the pages. Quickly, she tears the map up from a magazine and rips it up into multiple pieces. And she gives it to her daughter as a puzzle to put it together, thinking that this will keep her occupied for quite some time. However, only minutes later, the child comes to her with the puzzle all together. "How in the world did you do that so quickly?" she asked. To which the little girl replied, "You see, Mom, on the other side of the map was a picture of a little girl. All I had to do was put it together. And when she came together, the whole world came together." When I am together, the whole world is together. Can you say that with me? When I am together, the whole world is together. I love that. In this room, we know that as truth. If we desire to live in a nonviolent world this year, we must be nonviolent. Now, I'm sure that very few people in this room consider themselves as violent people. There aren't many of us here that still get into fistfights, right? Well, maybe a couple. But I'm also sure that many of us have made choices that are less than peaceful, less than loving, less than kind, less than compassionate, like about 1 million times a day. Am I right about that? Okay. Just want to make sure. And even though we don't like to admit it, or we might not even think that it's true, every time that we do that, we add to the collective consciousness a little bit of violence, a little bit of hate, a little bit of fear. Just a tiny little bit. And every time we are kind or compassionate, loving and peaceful, we add to the collective harmony and peace of the world. In every spiritual tradition, it is believed that peace must exist within one's heart before it can exist in the outer world. Patanjali, the ancient Indian sage, once said, "When a person is established in nonviolence, those in his vicinity cease to feel hostility." And that is how Gandhi lived his life. He opposed injustice, violence, hatred, etc. And he did that with one thing: love. He found, if you will, the noble love of Jesus, the noble love of Buddha. It is told of Gandhi that one day he went into a village where there was a tremendous agitator, a man bitter and filled with rage. This man was notorious for being angry and attacking. When Gandhi walked into the village, this man walked up to him, grabbed him around his tiny little slender neck, and he started choking him. The people were standing there just horrified. It is told that there was not even a flicker of hostility in Gandhi's eyes. Not even a word of protest, nor an act of defense came forth from him. Rather, he yielded himself completely to the flood of love within himself. And in a few short moments, the man broke down like a child and fell sobbing at his feet. The people around him thought it was a miracle. But for Gandhi, who was used to miracles of love, it only proved for the 100th time in his own life the depths of the words of the compassionate Buddha. Hatred never ceases from hatred, but by love alone is healed. This is the unalterable law. Hatred never ceases from hatred, but by love alone is healed. You might say, well, that's Gandhi. He was a saint. He was so courageous, loving, compassionate beyond normal human capacities. I'm not like him. Well, guess what? Neither was he. Not always. As a young boy, he was shy and fearful. He once wrote, "I used to be very shy and avoided all company. My books and my lessons were my sole companions. I would run home from school. My God, somebody might talk to me." That was my daily habit. I literally ran back because I could not bear to talk to anyone. I was even afraid lest anyone should poke fun at me. Moreover, I was a coward. I used to be haunted by the fear of thieves, ghosts, serpents. I did not dare to stir out of doors at night. darkness was a terror to me. It was almost impossible for me to sleep in the dark, as I would imagine ghosts coming from one direction, thieves from another, and serpents from a third. I could not, therefore, bear to sleep without the lights on in my room. Gandhi. Perhaps these fears made him a domineering, sometimes petulant husband. He believed that it was his right to impose his will upon his wife. His wife objected to his unilateral approach, whereupon Gandhi became even more adamant about imposing his will upon her. But she had an intuitive grasp of the properties of nonviolent love. And during those tumultuous years of domestic strife, she proved to be Gandhi's equal. Her attitude transformed his relationship with her, and in the process revealed to him the beauty and the power of nonviolent resistance, of nonviolent love. And he wrote these words: I learned the lesson of nonviolence from my wife when I tried to bend her to my will. Her determined resistance to my will on the one hand, and her quiet, submission to the suffering, my stupidity involved, on the other, ultimately made me ashamed of myself and cured me of my stupidity. In the end, she became my teacher in nonviolence. So Gandhi wasn't always love. He didn't always have it together. But he got real with himself, and he got clear, and he practiced what he termed self-purification. In other words, he worked on his stuff. We all can work on our stuff. There's so many things that we really didn't know about Gandhi, right? There's some other things. He never wore shoes. He rarely ate. That's why he was so thin. He was a very thin man. Everywhere he went, people wanted to feed him. And he never brushed his teeth. So a doctor came and did a health check, a wellness check on Gandhi one time, and he summarized the thing up. He was a singing doctor. He said, supercalifragilistic, nasty halitosis. All kidding aside, he did transform himself. And that's the essence of today's message. Only you can make that change. Only you can make the world seem right. I have to be transformed before the world can be transformed. So how do we do that? The Apostle Paul told us very clearly, very exactly how to do that. It's used so many times. I would imagine now that it has become a cliche. We used it last week. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And then he told us how. Put on the mind that was in Christ Jesus. And if you have a problem with the word Christ, he could have just as easily said, put on the mind that was in Buddha. Put on the enlightened mind. Because that is the essence of God that is within you. So if you put on that God mind that is within you, and you place that on everything that you see and do, then you will, and the world will be transformed. I had the privilege of hiking this past week with Jesus. It was awesome. My hikes have been hard. It was so fun hiking with Jesus. God, it was fun. I was holding his hand the whole time. We were singing. Someone sent me an article over the internet recently. I don't remember who wrote it, but it was entitled, "Why Ending War Hasn't Worked." And it said, peace movements have tried 3 ways for bringing war to an end. First, activism. The approach of putting political pressure on governments that wage war. Activism involves protests and public demonstrations, lobbying, and political commitment. Almost every war creates some kind of peace movement opposed to it. So why has that failed? Because the protesters are not heard. Because they are worn down by frustration and resistance. Because they are far outnumbered by the war interests in society. Because their idealism turns to anger and violence. Activism has left us with the ironic picture of outraged peacemakers who wind up contributing to the total sum of violence in the world. The second approach is humanitarianism, the approach of helping the victims of war. Bringing relief to victims is an act of kindness and compassion. As embodied by the International Red Cross, this effort is ongoing and attracts thousands of volunteers worldwide. Every nation on earth approves of humanitarianism. But why has it failed? Because humanitarians are wildly outnumbered by soldiers and war makers. Because of finances, the International Red Cross annual budget of $1.8 billion is a tiny fraction of military budgets around the world. Because the same countries that wage war also conduct humanitarian efforts, keeping the 2 activities very separate. Because humanitarians show up on the scene after the war has already begun. Finally, the third way, personal transformation. The approach of ending war 1 person at a time. This idea suggests that war begins in each human heart and can only end there. So why has it failed? Because hardly anyone has really tried it. Gandhi told us, you must be the change that you wish to see in the world. Ernest Holmes, founder of religious science, once wrote, "Let us realize, if the world is healed of war and brought into peace, it won't have been because guns were bigger and better, or more of them. We need them until it does heal itself, but that will come to pass only because somewhere along the line, the balance of scales of eternal truth shall fall on the side of peace. Let us, you and me, pray for peace, and let us make our hearts fit to accept it when it comes. Let us make our intellect and our soul and our will and our feeling ready to receive it and embrace it even before it comes. Let us, in the stillness of our own soul, go back to that ineffable presence which is peace and proclaim it even in the midst of confusion. That peace which is that power at the heart of God. Ours is not the task of fixing the entire world all at once, but of stretching out to mend the part of the world that is within our reach. Any small, calm thing that one soul can do to help another, to assist some portion of this suffering world, will help immensely. It is not given to us to know which acts or by whom will cause the critical mass to tip toward the enduring good. What is needed for dramatic change is an accumulation of acts, adding and adding more continuously. We know that it does not take everyone on earth to bring justice and peace, but only a small, determined group who will not give up during the first, the second, or the 100th dark hour. Remember what Margaret Mead said, never doubt that a small group of committed people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. To conclude, I want to tell a story about forgiveness. A frail black woman rose slowly to her feet in a South African courtroom. She was 70-something, figures deeply etched on her face. Facing her from across the room were several white security police officers. One, a Mr. Vanderbroek, who had been found guilty of murdering the woman's son and her husband. The man had come to the woman's home a number of years earlier. He had taken her son, shot him at point-blank range, and then burned his body while he and some other men reveled in their actions. Several years later, Vanderbroek came back to take away her husband as well. For 2 years, she couldn't find her husband anywhere. She didn't know what had happened to him. Well, then Vanderbroek came back and took her. They took her down to the river, and there she saw her husband bound and beaten and lying on a pile of wood. The last words she heard from her husband's lips as the officers poured gasoline over his body and sent him aflame were, "Father, forgive them." And finally, justice caught up to Mr. Vanderbroek. He had been captured, tried, and found guilty of these heinous crimes, and it was time to determine his sentence. As the old woman stood, the presiding official of the court asked her, "So what do you want? How should justice be done to this man who has so brutally destroyed your family?" In reply, the woman said, "I want 3 things. I want first to be taken to the place where my husband's body was burned so that I can gather up the dust and give his remains a decent burial." She paused, and then she continued. "My husband and son were my only family. I want secondly, therefore, that Mr. Vanderbroek become my son. I would like to have him to come twice a month to the ghetto to spend a day with me so that I can pour out on him whatever love I still have remaining within me." And finally she said, "I want a third thing. I would like Mr. Vanderbroek to know that I offer him my forgiveness. Because that is what Jesus would do." This was also the wish of my husband. And so I would kindly ask someone to come to my side and lead me across the courtroom so that I can take Mr. Vanderbroek in my arms, embrace him, and let him know that he is truly forgiven. He's innocent. As the court assists assistants led the elderly woman across the courtroom. Vanderbroek, overwhelmed by what he had heard, fainted. Every heart in that courtroom was moved. Everyone's lives were touched. Many sorrows and pains and hurts and resentments were healed in those moments. All victims of similar oppression began to sing in that courtroom, Amazing Grace. I'd like to close with a prayer from the Gandhi King's Season of Nonviolence group. If you'll close your eyes. Infinite Spirit, I call upon your power, wisdom, and compassion. The power that calls the universe into form. The wisdom that brings forth order and balance. The compassion that establishes healing, justice, and beloved community. Make me aware of my own prejudices. Shine a light upon any forms of violence, in thought, word, or deed, in which I am engaging. Grow in me the seeds of nonviolence. Teach me in the ways of peacemaking. Show me daily how I can do my part to fulfill humanity's dream of peace on earth. Through the growing practice of nonviolence, I stand firm in my belief that it is truly possible for all people to live in freedom, justice, and plenty. I pray for divine direction. I commit to do my part. I know the future of our planet and all people depend upon this great mission. I accept this. I know this. And it is so. Amen. Let's say our affirmation together. Today, I have the courage to live in accordance with my values, to speak from my heart, to treat people with compassion and kindness, to nonviolently take a stand for peace.
Oh my. Okay, so now is the time that we will do our offering. However, we're not passing, correct? So we no longer, during this whole COVID thing, pass. So just remember that we don't pass the
basket.
So if you don't give online or tithe online, there is a basket right there on the table. It's red, and you can put your offerings there. But we will go ahead and do our affirmation of blessings. Blessing. Any minute. Here we are. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. I am so blessed. Thank you, God. And now we're going to sing. And what do you sing?
Do you want to sing with me?
No.
And we'll sing Karen Drucker's song, I Am So Blessed.
Thank you.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I give. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And now's our time for our announcements. If there are any that aren't on the screen, that's going to come up just any minute. February 27th, our special guest speaker, John Stringer, will be with us. A speaker, Billboard charting singer, songwriter, healer, and author with a passion for music, community expansion, and limitless love and light. I bet you all could have read that yourself, huh? Anyway, he's going to be doing storytelling and music after the service, so that's on February 27th, so you won't want to miss that. Mark it in your calendars. February 10th at Sisk Park, we are going to have a picnic at 11 a.m. Yay! Unfortunately, we can't be there that day, but y'all have a good time and think of us while you're doing it. H.M. Lee Candy's Lessons in Truth discussion will be in the first Sunday of February. We always enjoy that. Everyone is welcome to that. The sign-up sheets for volunteering for reading the daily word or doing the meditation, doing what I'm doing, whatever, that's back on the table. Our prayer partner today is Reverend Juliet Briscoe.
She's not
I
here.
don't think so. She's not here. So our prayer
Julia.
Reverend Julie, that's perfect. Julie will do that. And our Reiki meeting is every Tuesday at 9:30. Prayer meetings every Wednesday on Zoom at 10. And our musicians next week, Jim Sorensen. And does anyone else have any other? Yes. Julia?
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Jeanne, for that beautiful lesson. Anyone that wants to hear it again, it is on the website. I will send out an email as soon as it's up and running. It's on YouTube. Thank you, Kim. Thank you. And there are sign-up sheets for the picnic, so if you want to start doing that, it's fine.
And go ahead.
I have a question first. I don't know where Sick Park is.
There will be a map.
Oh, okay. All right, great.
It's in Palo Verde.
And, good. No, I don't want to.
Sorry, go ahead.
You say. And I want to tell you that both myself and my daughter at 2 different times had the pleasure of what I refer to as a massage. But it is called Harmonium.
Oh, harmonium.
Harmonium, okay. And Jeanne does this, and I just want you to all know that it is a pleasure to be in her company and have that service provided.
What is it?
This one,
Massage?
yeah. So, it,
Energy word, harmonium.
yeah, it's wonderful.
That's it.
Any other message? Any other announcements?
Betty, did you want to talk about the flowers?
Oh,
Which, thank you for bringing flowers today.
that is such a cool, totally perfect.
Beautiful.
I just wanted to say that we would like to have a little certainty about knowing that we're always going to have flowers up front, because it does add, I think, a lot to the service. So we are looking for 4 more people, in addition to myself, who will commit to one person bring flowers the first Sunday of the month, one person bring flowers the second Sunday of the month. I will bring them on the 3rd Sunday, somebody else must commit to bringing them on the 4th Sunday, and then we need a 5th person in case there are 5 Sundays, or in case one person is out of town or, God forbid, ill, and this person could be a substitute. So if you are willing to really make a commitment, put your name on that list back there and say which Sunday you will commit to bring flowers, please.
Thank you, Brittany.
Great idea.
What about cactus?
And I just want to say, welcome back to Mark. And can I just say too that Julia and Mark can never be gone at the same time. Because there's just too much stress for the rest of us. We don't know how to do what you do. And we appreciate you so very much. Really, really do. Welcome him back, y'all. That is not an easy task, as Mike could affirm. It's complicated. It's much more than it looks like. And it's very good to have you back. And Virginia, if you haven't heard, is home and is doing better and is getting home therapy started soon. I know everybody's been wondering, and we've all had her in our prayers, and you too. And we are especially grateful to you. So, yes.
I'd also like to thank Kate and Jane. What
Yes.
a beautiful job you guys did today. Thank you.
That is exactly my next thing. Yes, absolutely. No, that's okay. You're allowed to speak. It's really good to see so many people here today, and it feels so good. And again, thank you, Reverend Jamie. That was such a very powerful lesson. So great stuff. So now let's have our prayer peace song. We're gonna have our peace song. We're gonna have our peace song, and let's all join together for that, shall we? Please stand.